Sade Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Caitanya, from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 28, Text 15. Matad Virefa
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Oh, you're not able to hear? Are you able to hear me now?
Oh, yeah, now we can hear. Just
Okay.
sorry, just
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Matadvirefa kalaya paritam vanamalaya parardhya hara valaya kirtang gada nuparam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So we have been hearing the description of the Paramatma. Yesterday we were hearing Lord Kapila is telling Devahuti that the yogi is controlling his mind and senses, and then he's fixing his mind on the Lord, on the super soul, on the Paramatma who's in our heart. And he's telling her how the Paramatma looks like, that the Paramatma has a four-handed Vishnu form. Four-handed Vishnu form, and his form is bluish, like a lotus flower. And he's wearing clothes like thunder, lightning. And he's wearing garlands. And that in his forearms, four hands, he's holding. Does anyone remember what does he hold?
conch, disc, and a lotus flower, and one more thing.
That's right. And chakra.
It's a chakra, yeah.
Chakra, yeah. So, yeah. So we can see the Paramatma who's in our heart, he has a form. He has a form. He's there in our heart. So reading on, he also wears around his neck a garland of attractive sylvan flowers and a swarm of bees. Intoxicated by its delicious fragrance, hums about the garland. He is further superbly adorned with a pearl necklace, a crown, and pairs of armlets, bracelets, and anklets. So the Paramatma is wearing a lot of ornaments, jewelry, pearl necklace, he has a crown, he has armlets around his arms, then he has bracelets, he has anklets. From this description, it appears that the flower garland of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is fresh. Actually, in Vaikuntha, or the spiritual sky, there is nothing but freshness. So here, when we pick the flowers, they don't last very long. Okay, we may try to make them last as long as we can, but then soon they will start deteriorating. But in the spiritual world, the flowers never deteriorate. They are ever fresh. And they're so fresh that the bees, they get attracted by the honey in the flowers. Actually, even the flowers picked from the trees and plants remain fresh, for everything in the spiritual sky retains its originality and does not fade. So not only that the flower which is on the tree, but even after you pluck it from the tree, it remains fresh in the spiritual world. Why? Because everything is eternal. Rather, everyone is eternal. Even the flower is conscious. The flower is also individual. That's how the spiritual world is. Sat Chit Ananda. So the fragrance of the flowers picked from the trees and made into garlands does not fade, for both the trees and the flowers are spiritual. When the flower is taken from the tree, it remains the same. It does not lose its aroma. The bees are equally attracted to the flowers, whether they are on the garland or on the trees. The significance of spirituality is that everything is eternal and inexhaustible. Here in the material world, everything deteriorates with time. No matter how much we maintain it, how much we try to preserve it, but with time, it deteriorates. In the spiritual world, everything is eternal. We don't need to try to preserve anything. We don't need to try to preserve. Everything taken from everything remains everything, or has been stated in the spiritual world, 1 minus 1 equals 1, and 1 plus 1 equals 1. The bees hum around the fresh flowers, and the sweet sound is enjoyed by the Lord. The Lord's bangles, necklace, crown, and anklets are all bedecked with invaluable jewels. Since the jewels and pearls are spiritual, there is no material calculation of their value. So jewels are really expensive. We go to buy real pearls or real jewels, they're really expensive. But what to speak of spiritual pearls, spiritual jewels? No value in the material world. Cannot pay for it, pay for these things. We don't have enough resources to pay for these spiritual jewels. So this Paramatma who's in our heart, this is the form of Lord Vishnu. So is the Paramatma the same as the Atma?
No.
What do you think?
No. No.
So does it mean that after I give up my body, I will become the Paramatma?
No.
After I'm liberated. Now suppose I get liberated. Can I become the Paramatma
No.
and sit in everyone's heart?
No. No.
No, that's right. Thank you. Only God is Paramatma. I cannot be Paramatma. Only God. He is omnipresent. So he can be in everyone's heart as Paramatma. I cannot be. Even if I get liberated, I will still remain as my position that I am soul, eternal, part of God, part and parcel of Krishna, part
It's
and
very
parcel of
minute.
God.
It's very
I'm sorry?
minute. It's very
Very
minute
minute.
compared to, right?
That's right. That's right. Thank you. Yes, we are minute compared to God. So sometimes the example is given, a firefly in the night glows very nicely. You can see the firefly in the night. But what happens to the firefly in the sun, in the daylight? Can we see the firefly?
No, it
Cannot,
can't
right?
see.
We cannot see the light of the firefly in the sunlight. Similarly, we think we are very, yes, I'm the soul. But compared to God, I am tiny. That is the point we have to understand. Yes, I'm the soul, I'm eternal soul, but compared to God, I'm tiny. And then begins our spiritual life. Then the doors to liberation are open. That's why it's said also in Bible that the kingdom of God is open to those who are humble and meek. So when we say humble and meek, not that artificial humility that, I let you walk all over me, or I pretend, no, you're so great and I'm so fallen. No, humility means understanding the greatness of God and that I'm a part and parcel, I'm a servant of God. This is real humility. So reading on, Kanchi Gono Lasak Shronim Hridayam Bhoja Vistaram Darshaniyat Tamam Shantam Manonayana Vardhanam. His loin and hips encircled by a girdle, he stands on the lotus of his devotee's heart. He is most charming to look at, and his serene aspect gladdens the eyes and souls of the devotees who behold him. The word Darshaniyattamam, which is used in this verse, means that the Lord is so beautiful that the devotee yogi does not wish to see anything else. His desire to see beautiful objects is completely satisfied by the sight of the Lord. In the material world, we want to see beauty, but the desire is never satisfied. Because of material contamination, all the propensities we feel in the material world are ever unsatisfied. So I don't know if you all have experience, when you're looking at something beautiful, we're like, oh, wow, this is so beautiful. And we keep gazing at it. We don't want to turn our eyes away from it. Oh, wow, this is so beautiful, even though it may be material. So beauty attracts us. Beauty attracts us, but because it's material, it cannot keep our attention for very long. Then we're trying to look for something else which is beautiful, but our eyes are always seeking to look at beautiful things. I don't know if do we really make an effort to look at ugly, bad, dirty things, I don't think so, right? Where there's really filth, we don't want to even look at it. Yeah, we want to go away from it. Same with the nose. We don't want to be smelling the filth. But where there is nice fragrances, roses, we want to try to smell it as much as we can. And so similarly, when the yogi is seeing the Lord, he does not want to see anything else because the Lord is the most beautiful. No one is more beautiful than the Lord. The Lord has 6 opulences. One of the opulences is beauty. No one is more beautiful than the Lord. So, but when our desires to see, hear, touch, etc. are dovetailed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are on the level of the topmost perfection. So we have, right now our desires are all material. But if somehow or the other, our desire is to hear about the Lord, to see the Lord, to touch the Lord, then our senses are engaging in bhakti, being used in the service of the master of the senses. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his eternal form is so beautiful and pleasing to the heart of the devotee, he does not attract the impersonalists who want to meditate on his impersonal aspect. Such impersonal meditation is simply fruitless labor. The actual yogis, with half-closed eyes, fix on the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not upon anything void or impersonal. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 11, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajami aham. As one surrenders to me, I reveal myself accordingly. So how are we approaching Krishna? How much are we surrendered to Krishna? Krishna reveals himself to that proportion to us. A devotee, he wants to only see Krishna. He wants to be with Krishna. He wants to speak to Krishna. He wants to serve Krishna. He wants to have personal association of Krishna. His whole consciousness is, I love Krishna. A devotee has revived his love for Krishna. And so he wants to be with Krishna. But then there is the impersonalist. He does not want to be with Krishna personally, but he prefers the light which is coming from Krishna. So Krishna reciprocates with both of them. So the impersonalist who wants to reciprocate with Krishna as light, then he sees that, okay, God is light. And that is what his satisfaction is. But that is called fruitless labor, because our true identity is that we are all eternal parts and parcels of Krishna. So each of us have a relationship with Krishna. And till the time we are not situated in that relationship, our journey is not over. We are not situated in our original position. We have not yet reached home, back to Godhead. So we should endeavor to revive our love for Krishna. That's to be situated in the original position, our eternal relationship with Krishna. And Krishna says, as you surrender to me, I reveal myself accordingly. So based on our desires. Based on our desire. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong. Okay. Apicha darshanam shasvat sarva loka namaskritam shantam vayasi kaishore bhrityanu grahakataram. The Lord is eternally very beautiful, and he is worshipable by all the inhabitants of every planet. He is ever youthful and always eager to bestow his blessing upon his devotees. So the Lord, he's the original person. Krishna is the original person. Yet he's not old and wrinkled and has white hair, or he does not need to color his hair like we do, or he does not have to hide his wrinkles like we do. No, he's eternally youthful, ever youthful, although he's the oldest, original person. ever youthful and eternally beautiful. We can see, okay, we may be beautiful for some time, but as the body grows older, the beauty fades because that's material. But Krishna, his form is spiritual, transcendental. The word Sarva Loka Namaskritam means that he is worshipable by everyone on every planet. There are innumerable planets in the material world and innumerable planets in the spiritual world as well. On each planet, there are innumerable inhabitants who worship the Lord, for the Lord is worshipable by all, but the impersonalist. So, Krishna, he is worshipped by everyone on every planet. Doesn't matter in the material world or spiritual world. Because each and every living entity is a part and parcel of Krishna. He says in Bhagavad Gita 15.15 that Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanam. That all the living entities are my fragmental parts and parcels. And hence, he's worshipable by everyone. He's maintaining each and every one. He's our origin. So he's the one that needs to be worshipped. So he's worshipped by everyone. Doesn't matter, material world, spiritual world, except the impersonalist. Why? Because the envy of the impersonalist is so much. Because the impersonalist feels, why should God be a person? I need to become God. Why is somebody else God? I'm going to become God. So because the envy is so much, then the impersonalists don't worship the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is very beautiful. So it's because of this envy. Anyway, because of envy, we are here in this material world, because we keep thinking we want to imitate God. We want to imitate God, but we are doing it in a covered manner. But the impersonalists outright, they're saying, I'm God. Why somebody else is God? I'm going to become God. So the word Shasvat is significant. It is not that he appears beautiful to the devotees, but is ultimately impersonal. Shasvat means ever existing. So sometimes, we can see, we may be looking at one object. You are also looking and I'm also looking at it. And I may find it very beautiful, but you will say, no, it's not. And then beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. But that's not the case of the Supreme Lord. He's actually very beautiful. He's the most attractive. That's why his name is Krishna. Krishna. That beauty is not temporary. It's ever existing. He's always youthful. In the Brahma Samhita 533, it is also stated, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, Adayam Purana Purusham, Navayovanam Cha. He's one without a second. Yet, although he is the original person, he never appears old. He always appears as an ever-fresh, blooming youth. So, can there be two gods?
No,
Anyone?
there's only one God. There's
Yeah,
only
that's
one
what I
God.
said. When one God, thank you. He's one without a second. Only one God. And then, is God old? How does he look? Because he's the original person, so how does he look?
Can't hear you.
Haribol, now are you able to hear me? I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
now
think
okay.
my connection
Between it
is not
just the
very
voice
stable.
went away.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. So it does, okay, so God, he's the original person. So does he look very old and wrinkled?
No, he's ever youthful.
No.
That's right. Yeah, thank you. That's right. So the Lord's facial expression always indicates that he's ready to show favor and benediction to the devotees. For the non-devotees, however, he is silent. So Krishna, as we just said, Krishna says that as you surrender to me, as you reciprocate with me, I will reciprocate with you. We are like that. Aren't we like that? Somebody is nice and loving to us. We want to be nice and loving to them. But if someone wants to be very cold with us, we also will become, we keep our distance. So the Lord, he sees that the devotees always want to be with him. So he's always waiting to give mercy to his devotees. And the non-devotees want to pretend he does not exist. So what does he do? He keeps silent. He is not personally involved with the non-devotees. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, although he acts equally to everyone, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and because all living entities are his sons, he is especially inclined to those engaged in devotional service. So it's like there is a child, a father is there, he has two children. One child is always wanting to spend time with the father. So automatically the father is spending time with the child. Because the child is going to the father, I want to be with you, let's talk, let's do this. So automatically the father is spending time with that child. There is another son. He says, I don't want anything to do with you. You just send me my check. You maintain me. That's it. Whenever I want something, I'll call you or I'll send you a text or a SMS. That's it. I don't want to be with you, but I want all what you can give me. So then the Lord does not spend time with him personally, but yet he maintains because he's his son. So the Krishna is the same. We are all children of God. So whoever wants to spend more time with him, he spends time with him. If one wants to say that, no, he does not exist, to them, he lets them think he does not exist. Someone to think that he is just light, then that's their understanding then. Then they will see him just as light. So just as the devotees are always eager to render service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord is also very eager to bestow benediction upon the pure devotees. So it is a loving relationship. There is a reciprocation. The Lord is not ungrateful. The devotee is serving the Lord wants to reciprocate. Krishna says to the gopis, na paray aham. In the rasa dance, he says to them that I cannot repay the love that you have for me. You love me so much, I don't know. You have purchased me with it. I have nothing with which I can repay you with. So you please be satisfied by your love. I'm indebted to you. I will never be able to pay this debt to you. He says that. So he's not ungrateful. He's ever willing to reciprocate. And that's what we should want to be having, this loving relationship with Krishna. That's the goal of human life, to revive our love for him, which can easily be done by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, which is given to us by Lord Caitanya. That is the special mercy of Lord Caitanya for us in this age of Kali. Did you want to add?
Somewhere I heard that he says like Krishna is bound by the devotees' love and devotion. He's bound. So whenever, because you have so much love, he will just come to you. He will reveal himself to you. I mean, of course,
right.
Unconditional love. Right? You have to have that. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, he gets bound by the love of the devotees. Yeah, he's waiting for us. Only we need to revive it. That's all. So we'll stop here for today. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, God Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Hare Bol.